Hi everybody, welcome to Season 2, Episode number 5 of Live Lunch. Apologies for not being with you last week. Stuff happened. But we are back and we are here and we have a very special guest with us, the one and only Simon Brading. When you told me you had half an hour free today, I was like, mate, please can I grab you and please can we have a chat?
That's wonderful news.
Coffee and drinks from the wonderful
Dan Nightingale.
Dan and future Mrs. Dan Nightingale.
Mate, if I had guns like that, I'd wear a t-shirt that short as well.
Look, right, I like this shirt.
It's
I
also
can't
got
get rid of it.
something that looks like Costa on his arm.
I drink at Costa.
I drink a Costa. Have you seen my other one? My other recent one?
No. Can it be shown on
can,
live television?
You can. Yeah, it's just a delicate procedure.
Colin, can I see
you
who's
gonna
watching?
show us?
Yeah, you ready?
We're going to look at Dan Nightingale's new
Millions.
Hello.
Hello.
Seagull. Wow. You guys have a seagull.
Good work.
That is amazing.
Bit bright to take with me wherever I go, you know.
That was lovely.
Which is which? Is there
That's
a...
lovely.
Slowly oat flat whites. That's a latte.
Thanks so much, mate.
Thanks very much.
Thank you,
Dan,
Lydia.
and the team is coming. It's going to be late.
Cheers.
So make
Shall I bring it up?
Yes.
Thank you.
So back to the wonderful Simon Brading. We've got Simon with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a couple of things before we kick off our interview with Simon. Megan, you will not be with us next week.
No.
And look at me, I'm really excited. Tell us why you're not going to be with us next week.
Why not? At Glastonbury.
Yeah! All right.
Started off at the bottom with Live Lunch and now she's all the way at
That's what's got me here.
And Live Lunch has helped progress her career to Glastonbury.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
massive well done. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much for acknowledging my
Well
role
done.
in getting you to Glastonbury. But really excited.
Yeah.
And so when are you playing?
I'm playing on the Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday.
Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah, in the Greenfields area.
Wow. So if you're at Glastonbury at the Greenfields area, Megan will be performing some live music on Wednesday, Thursday, and that is amazing. I'm so excited.
Well done.
And really massive well done.
Well done.
Thank you.
So we won't have Megan with us next week. She will be at Glastonbury. Just another thing to say, internship opportunities are open at Emmanuel. If you are considering what you could do with your next year and maybe consider, maybe have a look at our website, weareemmanuel.com/internship for a bit more information on the internship. We've already had quite a few applicants. Interviews are ongoing, but it's not too late to apply. A few more spots left. I know you're quite involved with the internship. So most of the departments in the church have interns, and Simon has his own bunch of interns as well. If you'd like to get more involved or find out more about the internship, just drop us a message in the comments or direct message one of us, and we would love to get back to you with information on the internship program. But I think the cutoff date ends pretty soon, so you don't want to miss out on a spot of being on the Emmanuel internship. It's quite a life-changing.
Did you do a year out,
experience.
like an internship?
No, I did something different, but because I came over from India,
Yeah,
so they
it's
rolled out
fine.
the red carpet.
Okay,
this wonderful Maharaja from the East.
We've got a Brazilian viewer.
We've got a Brazilian viewer.
Hello,
Brazilian
Brazil.
viewer,
Nice
if
to
you
see
would
you.
love to.
There we go.
So Simon, back to Simon.
Sorry, just back to Brazil. Looking at like songs and like song royalties, it turns out a handful of churches in Brazil are singing some Newday songs.
Really?
And they're dotted around the world, obviously a lot in the UK. But if that's you guys, thank you so much for singing our songs and hope they bless you in your church and your cities. Great to connect with you. I'd love to know who you are.
Are they translated into dialect or?
You just said hi from Brazil. Oh, you mean the songs?
Not
this.
that we know about, but I think people do, and I kind of don't mind that. I think we want them to serve. We can get official translations done, which we sort of... Anna speaks fluent Spanish, so we have wondered about it for a while.
Wow.
There's a whole Spanish-speaking world. Yeah, we might do down the line.
Amazing. So Simon,
Yes.
there is a lot of things that you do. You songwrite. You lead the worship team at Emmanuel. You are the New Day worship pastor. You run worship school. You have 3 kids. You are part of Live Lunch today.
I am.
There's a lot on your plate, metaphorically, literally in a few minutes when our lunch is.
You disappointed me. You said it's live lunch.
It is. Lunch will appear.
It's live coffee at the moment.
Lunch will appear.
That's fun.
How do you manage all these things?
In generally fairly unsuccessfully. I'm actually mid-systems at the moment. I think that the main way is through team and through people. I think I spent a long time trying to lead all of those things and try and do it all on my own. And any one of them is too big for one person, let alone all of them. So got an amazing team of people, of a whole multi-gifted, different sets of people, personalities who are just carrying lots of weight, responsibility. So I feel I get to work alongside them and help keep vision going in the right direction. But yeah, probably that really.
I was hoping you'd say prayer. And then I'd be like, Simon, tell us a little bit more about your prayer life.
That's how I manage them. Prayer would come in at a different level. But yeah, in terms of managing them, I think when I've tried to do it on my own, that I just can't. I'm not particularly strategic. If you look at my Strengths Finder profile, I'm not a strategist, so my strategy doesn't come very high. So I feel like my best strategy comes from prayer. God tells me to do things, and I go and do it, and He's like always right as well, even when I disagree with Him, which is annoying. So that's probably how.
From praying around you, your prayer life inspires me. Even just being in the room with you when you're praying is inspirational. Is there some things, or is there some disciplines that you put in place in your life to guard your devotional life and to enhance your devotional life and to cultivate a relationship with Jesus?
When I was 18, I heard Joel preach at a Youth Leaders Centre Parks conference on prayer from Nehemiah, and I listened to it probably about 5 or 6 times on my iPod back then. I know some of you haven't heard of an iPod. And I just understood something about the centrality of prayer, and some lessons I learnt back then have seen me through the next sort of 10, 12 years of my life. So some things like you don't have a prayer life by accident. If you don't plan it, you won't pray. So I'm thinking making decisions to make time each day, I've just had to do. Otherwise, I just won't. You think, oh, I'll get up. Oh, I didn't this morning. It's fine. I'll pray later. Well, guess what? I never do. So I've just had to make. For me, I'm a morning person usually, so I make time to be with God in the morning. But I think I learned back then as well the centrality of just relationship with God over rules. That took me quite a long time, even in trying to cultivate a prayer life. I was so like ticking off like, yes, I have prayed, but not actually thought about the relational side of it. So the centrality of having relationship with God, and that takes time. It takes time in a marriage, you know. Go for a couple of weeks without having good date time with Anna, you quite quickly get out of sync, and then you start missing each other. Then you just sort of function, but there's not sort of heart connection and relationship. It's the same with God. The more time you spend together, the more your relationship deepens, the more you get to know Him. So I think taking time to build relationship and just be with Him, I think that's definitely something that has helped me a lot. Just seeing God as somebody to have a relationship with, not just someone to go with a list of things to do. But yeah, I think in that place, just as you read through the Bible, you just realise there are tons and tons of promises around prayer, particularly around asking. Quite staggering promises that feel way too good to be true. So I've sort of enjoyed over the years putting them to test almost. Just like, this can't be real. You can't actually mean this. I think, no, I'm gonna put my foot on this verse and going to see if it holds up, and you sort of lean forward and put all your weight on it, and you soon realise after a while, this is actually true, this is real, He does answer what we ask. So I think taking intentional time, and when Jesus says in John 15, if you abide in me, you bear much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. He wasn't just saying that as a strapline, that is actually true. Spending time with Jesus, fruit is inevitable. Don't spend time with Jesus, fruit is impossible. He says, apart from me, you can do nothing. And I think if you stop sitting and connecting with Christ, no matter how much stuff you do and how many things you're responsible for, it's a matter of time before like all the fruit just dries up, and then you end up like just everything's a bit of a mess and dry, not really going anywhere. When you look, what's going on here? I've just stopped hanging with Jesus. That's what's happened. So
you recommended a book to me some time ago, which I've loved. It's called With Christ in the School of Prayer by Andrew Murray. Absolutely brilliant book. I highly recommend it. So thanks for recommending that. I think that's really what you said about praying back God's promises and the incredible promises in Scripture.
Absolutely.
Which are like, I have to put this to the test and see, because the promises are massive. When we think about who's offering those promises to us, there is no limit. There is
Yeah.
absolutely no limit to what God can promise. So yeah, no, and you read a lot about that. You learn a lot about that from that book.
Yeah, man. Like that book was recommended by a friend of mine in San Francisco called Joe Chusen. He used to be in Emmanuel. And he recommended it to me about a year ago, and he kept on texting me all these quotes from it, which were pretty good. Like I was like, oh, okay, let's check this out. And I'll be honest, like I'm in my early 30s and I've walked with God for a while. I thought I at least had like a GCSE in prayer, you know, like I thought I'd know something.
Yeah.
I read through that book and it's 31 chapters. So it's almost like you can read it in a month, but I wouldn't recommend that. That'd be too quick. You need to let each chapter really go in. But it's just like 31 lessons with Jesus, just things he says on prayer, and each one is like mind-blowing. I'm like, gosh, how have I never seen this? How have I never learnt this? So it's probably taken me about 4 or 5 months to read, and to just slowly put the stuff into practice. But I finished it, and I've gone back. I've gone back to the beginning. So I just like being totally schooled. Like, gosh, I had no idea how rich this actually was.
You just finished Worship Pastors Day last
We did,
Saturday.
yes.
We finished Worship Pastors Day. Yes, I was involved with that as well.
Yeah.
How did it go? And but also tell us a bit more about your heart behind Worship Pastors Day and Worship School, and how can people connect into that?
Brilliant. So Worship School has been a conference that we run every year, and the heart behind it is to train and help build excellent worship teams across the UK, and whoever else wants to join in feel a sense of call to equip and train worship leaders, but also worship teams. We've been doing it the last few years in the summer, in June. So the last few years we've had about 500 people, whole worship teams booking in, coming down for the day. I felt this year, for a couple of reasons, actually started last year, to have a worship pastors day for the guys and girls that lead the team. So for me, like in Emmanuel, it's me and a team of us, and we have about 100 or so different churches book in. It's like the team leaders. And I realised, wow, in the last sort of decade of doing this job, I've never been in a context where just the team leaders gather together. And the more I thought about it, it's like, man, we're going through the same sort of struggles, stresses, the same challenges, the same problems. We should get together. We should talk through some of these things. We should get some people in who are really good at this stuff. So we pioneered it last year, and we've run it again this year. This year we went for the Worship Pastors Day rather than the big kind of worship conference. And really excellent day. I think over the last 2-3 years, I've got to know some outstanding worship pastors in the UK. Really, really good, gifted guys and girls who are leading really fruitful teams and just full of wisdom, arrived at where they are in God from completely different places to me, but God's really raised them up to be responsible for really big things, some of them overseeing worship in whole spheres of churches. It was really good to sit back and just see them bring so much wisdom to the day and see what they had to say have an impact on 100 people sitting in. And just really grateful for their help, and just thinking what could be on the back of that now. That's 100 worship teams that be blessed and strengthened because of what happened on Saturday. So I think my heart is I want to grow and equip and strengthen and encourage worship teams to be the best they can in God and to follow the God-given visions that they've given them. And it's funny, like, doing that, because we're on a journey here in Emmanuel. It's not like we're the perfect worship team. Like, we're still very much learning and growing. So that's why I appreciate getting these people in. I feel like I learned as much Saturday as anyone else did, even though I was one of the speakers. But it was a really excellent day. Enjoyed it a lot. Did you enjoy it, Megan?
It was so good. The talks were amazing. I went to Holy Spirit talk in the afternoon by Chris Smythe from New Ground.
New Ground.
We love Chris Mike.
He's
We
great.
do.
He's from Dutch Kid as well.
He's not Dutch, though.
He's not.
No, is he a kid?
No, but he's a great guy, and it was a great talk, and I think it was just really interesting to meet people from the different spheres and churches, and but know that we're all serving the same God. And it's great.
Brilliant. So is this like just a once-a-year thing, or can people connect into worship school or with you during the year?
That's a great question.
I know, thank you.
Well, here's the thing. Going forwards, yes, we'll have a big conference once a year. I'm starting to do a lot more training locally in Emmanuel through video. the way we're teaching our worship leaders going forwards. We're putting together like a 9-week package for our small groups. And I think it's occurred to me, I do enjoy teaching on video. So it's something we're thinking a lot about YouTube and YouTube channels and how that works. Could that be a way that we serve with Worship School in the future? Also with Spotify and podcasts, we're looking at all the talks we've had for the last 2 years of Worship School. And we've actually put them onto Spotify as a podcast rather than just an MP3 on a website somewhere. So do you know what? I think we've got a big summer. I've got some time off, but I think looking forwards, I feel excited about being able to have more content that's going to equip and help people on both those platforms, on Spotify and on YouTube, particularly for Worship School. Yeah.
If you are interested in Spotify, search for Worship School, and it's the one which has a black icon with WS squiggles.
If you go to Spotify and search Worship School, that's one word. It's the first thing
And I
that comes
changed
up.
it.
Oh, you changed it?
Yeah, because it's 2 words, isn't it?
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
Ignore me.
Worship space school, and it should pop up. Or drop us a message and we'll send you across the link. Or we put the link in the bio.
Yes.
In the description of this video. So there we go. Make it easy for you. Make everything easy for you. Easy to connect with Simon and worship. What would you say are your top 3 tips on A, worshipping God, and B, worship for worship leaders?
Tip number 1 is you must make sure you're worshipping God in truth. Jesus says in John 4:23, true worshippers will worship the Father in truth, in spirit and truth. It's an interesting phrase, true worshippers. It's almost making a distinguishment between worship but a true worshipper. Why do I mean that? We obviously have an enemy who's active. It says in Revelation that he's the deceiver of the brothers and he lies to us day and night. And what he does, he tries to rob our worship. He tries to take our eyes off Jesus, and the way he does that is lying to us. So day and night, I've woken up today and I've been lied to. So have you watching this. Every time you gather to worship, you've been lied to all morning. What kind of lies? You can't come to God. You're dirty. You're unclean. If only these people know what you're really like. You should be ashamed of yourself. All of these things come into our head, and they stop us from actually standing in the truth, and they construct around us condemnation.
It's bonkers, isn't it? Because the moment you start praying, you suddenly are filled with thoughts about how
weak
a
you
bad
are.
job you've done, or how you've not lived up to expectation, or just how inadequate you are.
Yeah.
It just happens, isn't it?
And if you sit in that place and you try and worship from that place, and you're aware of a cloud of condemnation, or you start to believe those, oh, he doesn't like me, yeah, I am a failure, that's not actually worship in truth. That's worshipping in lies. You are not standing on the facts. And so my first tip to worshipping God is actually worshipping in truth. Look up at what is true. In that situation, it is that Christ has disarmed the enemy and has taken all of our condemnation at the cross, and that he has made and opened a way before the Father where there's no condemnation. And so you're looking up at God the Father. We don't have to look in fear that I'm not good enough or he's angry, but we get to stand in the gospel and through Christ come and love God. And so Jesus and the gospel and the truth opens up a way to stand before the Father free from condemnation. So my tip number 1 in worshipping God is worshipping truth, coming to Christ. He says, I'm the only way to the Father, and the enemy will work so hard at knocking you, at derailing you, at keeping you anywhere as you can away from the gospel.
If you're a worship leader, lead people in truth.
Yeah, and if you're going to stand
God.
up and lead people to worship, lead people to the Father through Christ. Don't leave an ounce of wriggle room for the enemy to be able to get in and make people still sit in a legalistic mindset. That's worship leading 101. We want to make sure we are leading congregations to come to God through Christ. And I love the verse in John 4:23. It's like a Trinity verse. It's like worship the Father in spirit and truth is the word, and Christ is the word of God. So I think that the Christ-centered piece, the way we come to the Father, is definitely through Christ. Don't try and worship in a constructive lies. You can push those away. And my second one would be, it says worship the Father. True worshippers will worship the Father. Isn't that interesting? We think, no, Jesus, worship's about Jesus. Jesus is in the middle. He's the centerpiece. Yeah, and what does he have to say? Actually, look at me, I'm about the Father, and true worshippers will come to me and I will take them to the Father. everybody's relationship with their earthly fathers is different, and no one has a perfect father. So everybody's version of God the Father is slightly tainted by their understanding of their earthly dad. I think getting to know God the Father, his perfect character, what he's actually like, is probably my second tip for people worshipping. Yes, come to Christ, but look up and learn to call him Father. Jesus says, hey, he's my Father and your Father. That at the cross, yes, there's justification, yes, there's forgiveness, yes, there's healing. Those things are penultimate. They were necessary for adoption. It was adoption is like the thing that he could do those things so that we would be adopted. And Jesus says to his disciples, no, I'm not going to leave you as orphans. I will come to you. I always think it's interesting that he chose that phrase. I'm not going to leave you as lonely, or leave you as a sheep, or leave you as fearful. There's no, I'm not going to leave you as orphans, somebody without a father. So I think the second thing, worship the Father, and third thing, in spirit. I think worship is in spirit. It's the stuff God's made of. He's put his spirit inside of us. We are to experience God by his spirit. It's not just facts out there somewhere. I just need to believe it. No, we can enjoy a personal connection with the Holy Spirit.
Brilliant. Yeah. Top 3 tips, amazing. So that's just a taste of what you can get from Simon's teaching. I love it. I'm blessed to be to get teaching from you, mate. So yeah, so I think plug into our worship school channels of communication, whether it's YouTube or Spotify, because there's a lot more from where that came. Before we close, New Day!
New Day!
New Day 2019 is next month.
Yeah,
it's next month. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, man.
I mean, we're midway through June, so we still got about 6 weeks left to New Day.
Yep.
Everybody around me is like, because we're all quite involved with the running of New Day. But I'm really excited.
Yes.
New Day, come on, it's going to be amazing. You are the New Day worship pastor. What are you excited about New Day, or what are you looking forward to about New Day?
I love New Day for so many reasons. It says in Psalm 98, verse 1, sing to the Lord a new song. And 96, verse 1, exactly the same verse, sing to the Lord a new song. Why should we always be singing new songs? It's because who God is the same every day, but also he's always doing new things. And when you're surrounded by a few thousand teenagers, and you see for many of them just coming to a relationship with God even for the first time, getting to know him, getting to understand things about God for the first time, you just see worship rising up in hearts, just seeing the greatness, the bigness, the glory of God. So I'm excited about just young people. And for many of them, every year, there's hundreds, maybe even thousands that come to New Day for the first time, seeing God in all of his glory and his grace, and be able to lead them in worship. New Day is so good because of just youth culture. It's always changing and moving. The songs and sounds of New Day 10 years ago were brilliant for 2009. But I love what God's doing in 2019 amongst the young people of the UK and beyond, and just tapping into that culture and understanding it a bit more, and musically just letting that bleed into who we are a little bit. I love giving a voice and expression to what worship looks like in youth culture today. And so it's a challenge for me because I'm a bit older, I'm not 19 anymore, but I want to help young people to express their love and worship for God. I think being surrounded by thousands always does something to you. Whether it's wherever you are, but just worshipping with thousands, and there's almost a taste of heaven in that sense, like the multitudes, every tribe and tongue. There's like every village and city in the UK just coming together with one aim to honour God and to draw near to God and to worship him is really, really special. It's a total honour and privilege to be involved in it, and looking forward to hopefully one of the best years yet. Been working really hard with a team of songwriters. Great to have Neil, Glanville and Shireen, and the guys from King's London going to be leading as well. Jake Isaac is coming with a band as well. He'll be leading for a couple of sessions, and then us from Emmanuel, Anna and myself. Can't wait. It's going to be a good week.
Very, very exciting. So there'll be more information on New Day. We're going to say New Day is a gathering of 8,000 young people from all across the UK in a field in Norfolk. What could happen? Who knows?
What could happen?
Simon and Jesus. And they know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. We'll put some information in the description. Check it out if you haven't heard of New Day before. If you're on the fence, come. Seriously, come. It is a life-changing, amazing experience. If you want to get involved with serving or in any of the teams, please jump in. There's lots to do and there's lots of fun that can be had whilst doing it. That's it for us. We've run out of time. Thank you so much for joining us, Simon.
Yeah.
Lunch hasn't arrived.
Is there no questions?
Lunch hasn't arrived.
People have just been waving.
Has anybody got a question? Do we have to be done at a certain time?
Well, lunch hasn't arrived. This people are probably asking
If anybody has a
Why
question,
hasn't arrived?
I would love to answer it, but I don't think they do.
Joel said take it to his room.
Joel's nicked it. Joel Virgo. But yeah, like drop us questions in the comments and stuff. That must be my Deliveroo driver. So somebody tried calling on the phone, but it's used to stream onto Instagram, so sorry. But thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week ahead, and hopefully our lunch will be here. See you later.